So about like 10 minutes ago, I was just scrolling through Twitter, just minding my own business until I saw quite possibly the most disgusting concept of a show I have ever seen. Now normally I would not make a video on this kind of topic because just talking about it in general makes me feel really uneasy and just disgusted, but I feel more people should be aware of just how disgusting this is. So for those of you that haven't seen it, it's been going really viral over Twitter. There has been a interesting and illegal, I would say, new Netflix show going around called Cuties. Now, just that name, it already sounds pretty sketch. It sounds pretty suspect, right? However, you are not prepared for what this is, so I would like to give a genuine, like, trigger warning. If you guys find, the topic of kids being exploited disturbing, as many other people do, and it makes you feel uneasy, then I would recommend leaving the video and going to find something else more lighthearted to watch, because this is just absolutely appalling how something like this somehow got greenlighted. So I'm gonna put a very censored version of the show's cover on screen right now. I'm censoring the entire thing because it's just absolutely disgusting. Like, it is nasty. And the show's description makes it just that much worse. It reads, Amy, 11. Yes, 11. You heard me right. 11. Keep that in mind. The number 11. Oh, I'm gonna throw up, man. Becomes fascinated with a tour. I'm not saying that word, T-word. You guys know what that means. Dance crew. Hoping to join them, she starts to explore her femininity, defying her family's traditions. Now, where do I even start with that? Okay, number one, she is 11. 11. And then in that same sentence, you followed it up with joining a T-word contest. That should be illegal to have those two things in the same sentence. I'm just saying. And then she's hoping to join them and explore her femininity. Okay, who thought this show was a good idea? Because don't get me wrong, kids that age, going through puberty or something, girls started fairly early. Obviously, that's a stage of life, but why is this being broadcasted as a concept of a show onto Netflix, where obviously millions of people, and within those millions of people, a few weirdos are gonna have their eyes on this show watching it? Like, what? Who thought this was a good idea? This is just a disgusting concept, and honestly, I'm gonna be real. When I say this, you may think I'm exaggerating or trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be funny here when I say that whoever greenlighted this show and whoever came up with the concept of it should be genuinely investigated by the FBI or some kind of law enforcement. And you may be like, oh, isn't that a bit harsh? In my mind, no, it is not. Because these are signs of somebody who is obviously very sick in the head. You cannot sit here and try to convince me that whoever thought of this show and whoever thought it'd be a good idea to air on Netflix, you cannot convince me that these are sane, rational, normal members of society. You cannot tell me that. These people need to be investigated or they need to lose their jobs, because I'm not one to try to lose people their jobs, but man, how does this manage to be somewhat accepted into society? And you may be saying, oh no, it's not. Well, clearly they're trying to make it normalized in society by the fact that it's literally going to be airing on Netflix in September, which is only days away. So like, who thought this show was a good idea? This is absolutely disgusting, and it reminds me a lot of those child beauty pageants. We all know what beauty pageants are, right? They're fairly stupid, I'm not gonna lie, but child beauty pageants, that right there is just absolutely disgusting, because if you're a parent and you're letting your kid not only star on a show with that disgusting concept, but you're allowing them to as well maybe go on child beauty pageants, and you are genuinely a horrible parent, and you do not deserve to live on this planet nor have a child, because the whole point of parenting is to protect your kids from weirdos and creeps and to, take care of them. However, when you let your child go on a show like this, or you let them go to child beauty pageants, you are just not doing your job as a parent whatsoever. You're doing the complete opposite of what you should be doing, because I don't think any rational parent on this planet wants their kid to be seen in a very suggestive manner, especially when they're 11, by literally anyone whatsoever. However, when you let your child go on child beauty pageants or this show, you're just doing the complete opposite of what you should be doing as a parent. Because who do you think is gonna be out here watching this show? Weirdos. There's no normal people out here who are invested in the next episode of Cuties where a bunch of 11-year-olds showed themselves off. No, nobody is trying to watch that besides weirdos who have very sick desires. And the same goes with child beauty pageants. These things should not be allowed, because it's just showing off your kid and putting them through a psychological nightmare, because already being a young actor is probably putting a lot of pressure on you, let alone having you be exploited in a very suggestive manner for literally anyone to see. Like, literally anyone with a few bucks to pay for a Netflix subscription to see. Like, anyone can see this, and I don't know how something like this is being normalized in today's society. Like, I don't know why big corporations like Netflix allow stuff like this to even be somewhat normalized or somewhat broadcasted in today's society, because it is not okay whatsoever. And if you are genuinely thinking the show is okay, I've seen a few people on Twitter, don't think I didn't see you, I've seen people out there on Twitter trying to defend this, saying like, oh, don't buy a Netflix subscription. This goes way above just not buying a Netflix subscription and ignoring it, because us just ignoring something like this happening is just contributing to the problem, right? It's contributing to the problem of big corporations exploiting kids in a very suggestive manner just to make money and just to get sales on their show. So no, I'm not gonna sit here and just ignore or not buy a Netflix subscription. I'm gonna talk about it, because something like this should not be normalized whatsoever. And honestly, man, whoever the kids are starring on this show, they really need to be taken care of by different parents, because if you are a parent out here who's genuinely letting your child take on a gig on a show like this, and if you're a parent out here genuinely thinking that this stuff is okay for your kids or for any other kids to be taking part of, or for this concept to exist, then you are genuinely a sick person, and you need to not only be investigated, but you need to have your kids removed from your household and moved over to a household with parents that will actually care for them, instead of throwing them out in the public eye for a very, very disgusting reason and for a very disgusting show. Oh, and I just realized that it was actually a movie. I know I'm not exactly the brightest, but this is a whole movie. This is an hour and 30 minutes of content catering towards weird people that are into little children. Like, who thought this was a good idea, and who thought that, hey, we should allow this on Netflix for the whole world to see these little girls acting in a very disgusting manner? Like, honestly, man, I'm not even gonna lie to you. This should be illegal. This should be illegal. Like, I'm not one for censorship, but shows like this should not exist. This is just disgusting. And whoever the producers are for the show, I know you're probably watching this video because you guys are weird. You're probably looking for any opinions on the show, and you're probably Googling it to see what people are thinking. You guys are sick. That's all I'm saying. To the producers, to whoever is working on this movie or show, whatever you want to call it, you are disgusting, and I genuinely hate you. That's all I have to say for today. So I'm not gonna do my normal outro for this video, because obviously it's just not fitting, but just know that stuff like this should not be accepted in today's society, and shows like this should not be greenlighted onto Netflix for weirdos to see, and child beauty pageants, they are a part of the problem. Anything like this that uses kids and puts them in the public eye, especially in this kind of manner, this should not be okay. But yeah, that's all I had to say for today. Thank you for listening. Hopefully I can have a normal video tomorrow, but I want to talk about this because it's disgusting. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.